Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. And it's time for the weekly watches. And do not adjust your watches. Yes, it's Saturday, but I'm working tomorrow, so you've got the joy of me a day early. You lucky bunch, you. So anyway, yeah, let's crack on right up with this. 8 titles, which, considering we've got a day less, ain't too bad. So let's see what I've been watching. I started off with a film that Stuart George has been championing for quite a while, and that is A Quiet Place Day One. Now, like the first film, I thought the first film was quite good. Second one, not so much. And the third one, my thoughts on the third one, it was all right. This is a prequel story, so you can watch it independently of the other two. And I just think that 3 films in, it's spreading a bit thin. The story of Be Quiet or the Monster Will Get You. It's just, there's not enough to make 3 films, so hopefully there's not another one in the pipeline, but you never know these days. Yeah, it's got, I could never say her name, Lupita Nyong'o, something like that, Lupita Nyong'o. She's always very good in it. Stuart says, and I agree with him, the best bit are the bits with the cat. It's quite a fierce kitty he was. Totally different with my cat Cosmo. Like, any signs of sound or trouble and is hid under the bed. Fireworks night, we hardly saw him for 2 days, bless him. Yeah, Quiet Place, Day One. It's okay. Not bad. Next up, I went back to Basil Dearden. Not seen a Basil Dearden film for a while. And the Mindbenders, Dirk Bogarde, loved Dirk Bogarde, thought he was a great actor. Mary Ure, I watched her in a film a couple of weeks ago, I was really impressed with her, so that's why I picked this up actually. And John Clements. Now this is quite a difficult film to describe. There's a lot going on, but bear with me, I'll give it a go. Dirk Bogarde is a scientist, and he's been working on this sort of mind control methods to help with interrogations and stuff like that, where if you relieve somebody of their senses for a while, you can control their mind. And the way they've been doing this is putting them in this big rubber suit and submerging them in water for hours, and the results make them compliant and all over the place. And his colleague that he works with on these, he's tried it on himself, and then he ends up killing himself, and it's been selling secrets to the Russians. And Dirk Bogarde wants to go and clear his name, that he's not a traitor, by experimenting on himself to prove that this mind control works, and that the scientist was not himself when he was trading off these secrets. Yeah, there's a lot going on. It was all right. It was a decent film. Not one I'd rush back to anytime soon. Definitely one to keep in the collection. Do like Basil Dearden. Not one of his finest films. But yeah, it was all right. Worthy addition to the library. And if that sounds like something you'd like, yeah, by all means, watch it. I think you'd probably get something out of it. Next up, carrying on my 4K journey of the Bourne series, The Bourne Legacy. Now, I'd watched this before and I thought it was okay, pretty decent. But you know what? It really hit with me this time. I really, really enjoyed it. The elephant in the room, there's no Jason Bourne in it, which I didn't mind this time. Last time it kind of bugged me. I think it was the first time watching it, I was thinking, oh, pretty crap without Jason. But no, this is following Jeremy Renner's character in it, and he's also in the same programme as Bourne. And its storyline is pretty much at the same time as the Bourne Ultimatum. So you're getting flashbacks from that film in it, and everything's gone south with the Treadstone programme, and it's being closed down by they're killing off all the agents in it, and also they're killing everybody who like dealt on the medical side of it and the pharmaceutical side of it, and Renner's character is the last one standing that they haven't managed to kill, and he goes on the run with also one of the medical girls who survived after this guy went in and tried to kill all the medical staff who were dealing with the program. And yeah, it's pretty paint by numbers sort of thing, 2 on the run from the bad guys. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And 4K, it looked nice. Yeah, it's good stuff. Enjoyed it more than I thought I would do. And next I'll be getting on to Jason Bourne himself. Next up for myself, a film that's been stuck on my shelves for the longest time, and that is Saturday Night Fever. Now, the reason it was stuck on my shelves, narrow-minded call me, I've been accused of that before. I always likened it to, like, that fallacy of cinema grease, which is goddamn awful. And I always put this in the bracket of it. And I only got it because I saw it like dirt cheap somewhere. I can't remember, the charity shop or something like that, and I picked it up. But again, Stuart George is always championing this film, so I thought I'd give it a watch. And the opening scene, it starts off with John Travolta is sashaying down the street with these bright red shoes on, carrying this tin of paint. And I thought to myself, here we bloody go, this is going to be awful. But do you know what? I bloody loved it. I thought it was great. It's totally not what I thought it was. It's in a 70s fashion. It's grimy and gritty, and it's all about Travolta's character trying to win this dance competition. But it was really great. It was so great, I was shocked. Like I say, yeah, just gritty 70s drama, and with such a banging soundtrack. And I hold my hands up to everybody and say, yep, I was wrong. I'm big enough and ugly enough. Well, actually, I'm not that big, but I'm pretty ugly. Hold my hands up and say, yes, I was wrong. And do you know what? I went on Letterboxd to log it, as I always do, and I love Letterboxd for the stats and all that. I absolutely adore it for that. But I go and check like the reviews to see what other people think, and it really annoys me, the review section of Letterboxd, because it's so bloody woke. So God, it made me mad. It's got such a low rating on Letterboxd, and there's people giving it 0.5 star and 1 star because it's a 70s film, it's of its time, and people, oh, it's homophobic, oh, it's racist, oh, it's terrible, oh, it should never have been made. But it was of the time, and people spoke and acted differently, and God, bloody get over yourselves. It riles me up so much. It's a great film, and you just can't look past your own ideologies of modern life, and God, it makes me sick. Yeah, but Saturday Night Fever surprised me. Bloody brilliant film. Next up, I went to my Studio Canal Vintage Classics collection, which I've got a lot of them down there now. I'm thinking about doing a video of my Studio Canal Vintage Classics collection. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know down below, because that's certainly what I'm thinking of. And I went for the Lavender Hill Mob, which I've seen before a long, long time ago. Stanley Holloway, Alec Guinness. This is about Alec Guinness's character. He sort of oversees his job of moving gold into banks and stuff like that, and he's been doing it years and years, and he's such a trusted employee, and nothing's ever gone wrong on his watch. He's viewed by his superiors as sort of this rather staid, dull individual, but ultimately loyal to his job, and would do nothing to jeopardise the job of moving this gold about, which Alec Guinness, he realises that how he's viewed, and he's about to retire, but he thinks he's going to do an inside job, and take the gold for himself. So he gets this gang together, and he steals all these gold bars, and to get them out of the country, arranges with this guy who's got this like business of making tourist gifts for tourist shops, have melted them down and recasted them as Eiffel Towers, and then getting them out by sending them to France that way. Uh, but all goes swimmingly well until some of these Eiffel Towers end up in the gift shop at the Eiffel Tower and get sold to some schoolgirls. And it's about the gang trying to chase around after these schoolgirls trying to get their gold back. Yeah, good film. Not the best Ealing comedy, but it's an entertaining ride. Good one for, I'd say, a Sunday afternoon. Work's looming the next day. Stick that on and you'll have some fun. Yeah, good stuff, the Lavender Hill Mob. Next up, I dove back into this. And you know, if you've been watching the videos, it's got a very checkered history with me, this Arrow video box set. And the last one, thank goodness you're probably saying, the last one in the box, Arena. And I think they saved the best one to last, to be honest. Whilst it's not brilliant, it was quite good fun and pretty darn watchable. It's sort of a cross between Rocky and space. It's sort of Rocky with aliens. There's some Star Wars like stuff in there. Don't get me wrong, like if it sounds like I'm comparing it to Star Wars, it's totally nothing like Star Wars in the quality. But some of the, like the bar they went into and the creature designs are a bit Star Wars-ish, and I wouldn't have been surprised if that's what they look at when they had a look at the creatures and how to design them. It was just good, daft fun. Certainly never going to win any awards. I'd never heard of any of the people in it, but they were all right. They did a decent enough job, and yeah, it's all right. Rocky versus Aliens, if that sounds like it might float your boat, give it a watch. Now, having watched everything in this box set, I'll just do a quick ranking of them. Dungeon Master, absolutely abysmal. Maybe the worst film I've ever seen in my life. I actually do think that it might be the worst film I've ever seen. Cellar Dweller, a little step up, not much. Some good creature design. That was about it. Dolls was okay. Pretty good fun. Can't remember much about it, and I only watched it a few weeks ago. Robot Jocks, watched it last week, and yeah, it was alright. Will I watch it again? No. And Arena, similar to Robot Jocks, decent fun. Will I watch it again? Probably not. So I don't think this set's something I'll keep in my collection. I'll probably look at moving it on and saving some valuable space for something else. Yeah, I'm quite glad that's done with now. It's been quite the saga. Next up, a DVD I found in the charity shop the other day. A Mike Leigh film, Life is Sweet, and probably living under a rock, but I'd never heard of this. It's got Alison Steadman, Jim Broadbent, Jane Horrocks, Timothy Spall. Timothy Spall is quite good in this. This is about Alison Steadman and Jim Broadbent. They're a married couple in London, like North London. He was a Spurs man, kudos to him. And they live with their two daughters, very dysfunctional family. Like one of the daughters, they're twins, she's a plumber. The other's real problems, anorexia or bulimia, eating problems, and hardly leaves the house. And it's a comedy drama, which was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. Alison Steadman's character very reminded me of a Pamela in Gavin and Stacey. Yeah, very similar to that. So again, whether they saw her in this and that's how they got the idea of her in the film, probably not, but it could have worked. And just the way the family work, that's all it's about. One of these films that not a lot happens, but it's just a joy to watch. For me, Timothy Spall was probably the star of it, as this guy is such a weird little character, as Timothy Spall characters often are, who was opening up this French restaurant, and he got Alison Steadman to help him on his opening night, and nobody appeared, not one single customer. And he got the whole night like drinking more and more wine and getting weirder and weirder, as Timothy Spall often does. Yeah, decent film. Quite enjoyed that, and probably what I'll look at upgrading to Blu-ray now, because I think there is a Blu-ray available and it's not too expensive. So yeah, that's probably something I'll look at. And I wound up the week with this film Anthropoid that I picked up and showed it in the weekly pickups video this week, and 2 or 3 people says give it a watch, Roy, it's really good. So on the strength of that, I stuck it in, and yeah, they were bloody right. What a great film this was. As much as I loved Saturday Night Fever, I think this might be the film of the week. It's Cillian Murphy. I never know if it's Cillian or Cillian. I never know. Jamie Dornan. They played these 2 Czechoslovaks who parachute back into Czechoslovakia after it's been occupied by the Germans, and we just let the Allies just let the Germans ride into Czechoslovakia pretty unchallenged. It was quite bad what we did. And the German officer who was in charge of the Germans, Reinhard Heydrich, he was nicknamed the Butcher of Prague, and this is based on a true story, and what an evil individual this guy was. He was also in charge of the plan to kill all the Jews, the final solution. And this is about the assassination of him, and he was the highest ranked German soldier to get assassinated in World War II. I think he was like 3rd or 4th in command. And yeah, it's just all about the planning of the assassination, the aftermath of it, and what the Germans did to the Czechoslovak people in the aftermath of this assassination. And they knew it was going to come, and this assassination attempt wasn't always welcomed by the underground, by the Czechoslovak people, because they knew it would reap havoc with revenge. But the Czechoslovak intelligence and people in charge in London ordered this hit on it, and so it was a look at both ways. Was it a good thing? Wasn't it a good thing? Yeah, really, really good film. One that I highly recommend, that if you haven't got it, pick it up, give it a watch, and if you have got it and you haven't watched it, it's stuck on your shelf, give it a watch, because it's bloody good stuff. I like Cillian Murphy, such a great, great actor. Well, that was it. That was it for... Oh, hang on. No, one more thing, actually. Can't really count it as a film, but I dove into the Only Fools and Horses Blu-ray set. I watched the first one to Hull and back. And just to say, if you're like me, you're on the shelf of picking this up because you was a bit dubious of the quality of the transfers. It was marvellous. Absolutely looks bloody splendid. I was... knocked me socks off on the quality of it. It absolutely gorgeous. So I recommend picking it up if you're not sure about it, because yeah, brilliant, brilliant stuff. So that was it for the week, guys. I'll be back Sunday and for the next few weeks, foreseeably on the Sundays. Give us a like if you've liked what I've done here today. Maybe think about subscribing if you want to hear more of this twaddle. I'll catch you all later. You'll be good and keep watching movies. Ta-ra.